And this was down almost a foot in this soil, and I can't believe I found another one. Welcome to Treasure Quest, everyone. I hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic day. So in this video, it's going to be more of a traditional style metal detecting video where it is just dig after dig after dig after dig. Long story short, I did some mapping out of some older locations that I thought could produce some metal detecting finds, and I went way up into the hills in Virginia into a rural area, and I found a community center that has a large field behind it. The good news is, way back in the day, it used to be an old skull, and I found it on aerial maps dating back to 1935. I don't know how old the skull is yet. I haven't done extensive research, but it probably predates that by a decade or so. Needless to say, I found a lot of good stuff there, which you can probably tell based on the duration of the video, between old 1800 relics, jewelry, modern coins, old coins. This place had it all, and I dug holes for about 6 hours. So there's really not much else I have to add to this. I can't wait to go back there after some rain and see what else pops up. But for now, enjoy the digs. So starting out in the field, way in the back, working my way toward where the creek is. And first signal I dug up was just a piece of can slaw a few inches down. And I got a really old find here. Wasn't expecting it, but got an old iron horse tack ring. Shows you how old this area is. Awesome. I'll keep searching. And it's just a few minutes later in the very back of this field, getting close to the brush where the creek's behind there. And I got my first signal here that sounds very coin-like. It has some depth on it, so let's go ahead and try this one live. Who knows what could be down here. Haven't found any coins yet, but I've only been looking for maybe 7-8 minutes or so. This field's relatively quiet, but with that horse tack ring, it's going to show you there's going to be old stuff down here for sure. And there's not a lot of modern stuff in here either. So it's all about picking out the goodies. Just listening for those nice deep signals. Alright, so we're down in here. There it is. Turn the pinpointer off. It's a coin. It appears to be a penny. And that is a wheat cent. It's very crusty. First coin here. So this is back from the days of this school. What an awesome first coin. It's going to show me there should be more floating around randomly back out in this field. Now the relief looks pretty high on that. It's probably 1950s. Could be 1940s. I don't think it's any earlier than that. But a great find to go with that horse tack ring. So this place is helping me get my passion back for metal detecting. It was quite the trek to get up here into the hills where I'm at. Crazy drive, extremely narrow roads, and it is so peaceful up here. I'm really glad I was able to map out this spot. And I got something good in the hole. I'm getting closer to the creek and the gnats are just everywhere here, so I may have to work my way back out into the middle of the field. But it's shaded back here. Just absolutely beautiful out here. I knew back in the day, since the early 1900s, the kids would definitely have been coming to play in this creek. It would have been one of the top things to do after school. Come back here by the water, splash around, especially in the summer when it's hot. Dam it up, do what boys do, and girls. But of course, there's always more boys by the creek. It's like a magnet. I know it was for me when I was growing up. Had a 78, 79 signal, solid right here. A couple inches down, getting close to the creek line. Popped it out of the side. Looks like I got another disc. Now, this is really green and it rang up low, so it's probably older than the last one. I cleaned up the last one and it was a 1952. And this could be an Indian head. I have no idea. I haven't been able to find out how old this skull is yet. All I know is it is on the 1935 aerials. So, very old little town up here in the hills in Virginia. And I really can't tell anything on that. So crusty. I'll have to clean this up a bit and I'll let you all know. So let's set that here a second. I mean, this is old, whatever it is. It looks like it's going to be at least early 1900s. I dug this a minute ago. I thought I'd joke because it's funny. It's one of the old ones that has aluminum stamped on it. So that's its way of letting you know it's not a good find. Not every day you find something stamped aluminum. But let me clean this up a second. We'll take a look at it. I'll clean this off a little bit. It is going to be a wheat scent, and I don't know if we'll ever get a date off of this one. Naturally, being back here by the water where it's moist and probably flooded a little bit over the years, the copper coins are probably going to be in really bad shape. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to get a date on this, but just by looking at it, I would say almost for certain that's going to be probably pre-1930s, probably from the 1910s, 1920s, just a guess. Very old coin back here, very worn down, rang a lot lower than a normal one, so we'll say roughly about 100 years on this coin, which is awesome. Only dug 2 coins, both have been old, so not many signals back here, but I'm going to work as close as I can to the creek, and then maybe later in the year when this brushes down a little bit, maybe we'll have to go in there. I bet there's some stuff in the creek. I worked down several yards, still here on the back end, right up by the bushes, and I got another pretty good signal here. And it's got that depth like it's down there a ways too. It's weird though this way. It kind of smears a little bit. It's kind of a little bit of an odd signal. Much more concise this way. Crazy signal, actually. This could be deep iron, it could be a deep coin, I don't know. Let's at least open the hole up here. See if we can read it with the pinpointer. Down here by the water, I'll probably should go get this foot shovel because most of the stuff's going to be very deep. The old stuff in this field. We'll see if we can read it now. I'm reading it with the pinpointer. I'm going to expand this a little bit. Just back down this way. Alright, I should read it right here. I'm going to check this again with the... No, it is right here, so it's not very deep. Oh, what do we have here? It's a coin. It's a coin. Unbelievable. It's another penny. I don't see the memorial on the back, so it's probably going to be another wheat. The relief looks pretty high here to me. Probably another one from the 1950s. But man, little time capsule, all old stuff locked in here. No modern coins yet. Super cool. Let me clean it up and see what we can find out. Not sure how well that's going to show on camera. This one cleaned off pretty easy because it's a newer one. Not been down there as long to corrode. It's a 19 1951. Philadelphia, I think. I don't see a mint mark. So awesome. 3 old pennies. I've been out here about 15 minutes. Let's keep working this creek line. See if we can get some more of the kiddos' coinage. So while there was cloud cover, I came back out into the middle of the field. And as soon as I came out, the sun came back out. But right here in the middle, after I dug one of these that always gets you, they kind of sound like a nickel. If I could pick it up out of my pouch here. Not the pull tab, but the thing in front of it there, one of those, if I can get a handle on it, one of those little ace bandage clips. They always fall off in the sports fields. Had a nice deep signal here in this soft soil. Went down. Looks like I got another coin. Now this one's not quite as old, so this is going to be the newest coin so far. It is a memorial cent. It's definitely copper, but let's see if it's got a little bit of age on it. I should be able to see the date by rubbing it right here. Yeah, that's not super old. That's 1981. All right, let's continue. Okay, on the other side, the whole way over there, right after I dug that 1981 penny, I found a penny about a yard away from 1982. Worked the edge the whole way along there, hugging the side. Didn't find anything until I got over onto the other side here. Here's a few bits and bobs I've picked up that I haven't showed. I got a lump of lead. I got that weird thing that looks like, I don't know, could that be the top of a light or something? I don't know, it was shallow. And then I got an old piece of a brass shell casing. And right here, if I can see it. Oh, there it is. Got a recent drop down in here. So that's definitely the newest find so far. 2001. So that's coin number 6. 3 old and 3 fairly new. And got some shade and a breeze now. It feels real good. Oh wow, that breeze is coming in fierce. Had a solid coin signal right down here. Figured we'd finish it live. And I'm sorry if the audio gets worse here because this is coming out of nowhere. Sounds very coin-like. Oh, what do we have? It's a piece of jewelry. I'll turn the pinpointer off. Turn away from the wind here. Oh, that's cool. What is it? Is that a strawberry? That's neat. It's probably going to be fairly old too. Very cool pendant. That is awesome. That definitely looks vintage to me. It's probably 1950s-ish, give or take. Really old enameled look to it. Well, that's a sweet piece of jewelry. Can't wait to clean that one up. Gonna be careful with that one with the enamel on it. Nice. Ring up just like a penny. Well, I guess that's a fitting find because I found it right underneath this mulberry tree. Right on. Well, if anyone has metal detected this spot in the past, I don't think it's been for quite a while. Right here, I just had some shallow zinc tones, but I just wanted to check them out because there could be obviously more jewelry in this field too, even more modern. So I'm digging all the really solid signals. I'm just skipping like the blatant pull tab signals and the real sketchy choppy signals right now that, you know, are usually an odd piece of trash or aluminum. But right in this area here, I pulled out 3 zinc pennies, but they're all crusty. You can see they're already corroding like they've been under there for a while. And I got a 4th one here that was right here. Then I had a solid signal that sounded more like a copper penny. And I pulled this out of the hole and it was stuck to another coin down in there. I think this is a copper one. Or no, I think it's zinc, but the signal probably spiked because they were stuck together. So let's see, this one's preserved. We'll see if we'll see the date on that one. I figured I'd just show this because, I mean, these have been under the ground a while, pretty corroded. That's I think a 2000 on the button. I'm just trying to look at it here 1 second, clean it off. The edges of it's chipping away already. It's almost gone. Yeah, I think it's 2001. I think 2001 Denver, something like that, early 2000s anyway. And that was, I think, 6 of them right there. So while I have the detector out, we'll just scan it, see if there's any more. Yeah, this is a large penny spill. May as well, while I have the camera on, we'll just finish it. Sounds like it's, yeah, it's literally packed down right in here where those other ones were. It'll be right there. There you go. So they kind of were all stacked right there. Let's plop that one out, see if there's any more. I think that's it. I think that was 7 of them right there. Been there since the early 2000s. Hey, any coin spill's a fun one. So I'll patch up this little area here where I dug these tiny little plugs and keep digging. I got a nice giant cloud that came over now. It's a little bit dark, it might sprinkle a little bit. But here's another fun signal. I'm probably 2.5 yards up into the center of the field from the last one. Had a solid 81. Stuck my shovel and pried out. And I got a 3-coin sandwich. Ooh, something's biting my forehead. Okay, and looks like a nickel, and I think, oh, I thought it was 2 zinc pennies stuck together, but actually it is a, yeah, that penny's definitely zinc, see how corroded. So that was a nickel, a penny, and a dime stuck together. Oh, I gotta turn this back on. And there's more down there right where I, so how much is in here? Oh my goodness. Zinc penny, very crusty. Soil is very acidic back here too. Typical Southwest Virginia, Northeast Tennessee. Corroded zinc penny. I see more down in here. Oh my goodness. I haven't had a fun spill like this in a while. Pulled out in clumps. That's a nickel. Another penny, that one's definitely copper. How much is in here? Here we go. That's a dime. Oh, another one right here. And you can see how corroded that part of that little clod is. Really nasty corroded zinc penny. Does it go this way? I think I just hit something. Oh yeah. I'm down underneath something there. There's another nickel. This is fun. Man. Whoa. Some kid must have had a big pocket full of coins or something. There's another copper penny. Let's turn this off a second. Move this giant pile of coins over to this dry spot here. Swing it with the detector. Okay, well that was it. A lot of coins in there, and I'm going to check the date on them, see how long they've been down there, but obviously since at least no later than the 80s, because some of those are zinc. Well, I got a nice little surprise here. I cleaned up the nickels because they're the easiest to see the date on. One of them is a 1985, one of them is a 1976. Cleaned off one of them, and you can see right there it's a 1954, but there would have been a lot more nickels from the 50s in circulation back in the 80s. I mean, they're still in circulation today, nowhere near as many of them. So all them crusty zincs are probably from, I would guess, the mid-80s, mid to late 80s probably. So all the 3 nickels are 1985 or older. So that's pretty cool, but the fact that there was a 1954 in that spill, that was awesome. So what did we end up with? I'll count them later. Actually, there was a 4th nickel there I didn't clean up, but I think this is a kind of like a late 1980s coin spill that still had a coin from the 1950s in there with it. That's pretty sweet. Okay, barely a yard up from that coin spill that was real shallow there. I just got what appears to be some kind of crude iron-looking button. I don't think it's super old. It was pretty shallow too. Probably mid-1900s at the oldest. It may just be junk. It may not be a button at all. But anyhow, I'll clean it up later. I know you can't see me real well. Let me turn around this way. There you go. Get the sun behind me. So I have a really good signal here, kind of back toward the edge. I'm working my way back in the shade now. But on the way over here, I hit a really nice signal. This is the kind of sound I'm listening for. This is the signal I'm the most excited about so far. It sounds like a deep silver dime. It's at least what it sounds like to me. Of course, if I can locate it now. There it is right here. It's a little faint. 85, 86. Sometimes it clips 88. And that's like what we like to see. It's got depth on it. It's not consistent because of the depth, which is good. All the other signals I've had here have been very concise ones, but this is definitely, or at least appears to be, non-ferrous. It has significant depth on it and is very coin-like. So, of course, this could be a clad dime, but the deeper stuff I've dug here has all been old. So I'm hoping this is most likely a silver Roosevelt dime or a mercury dime, if it is indeed a silver dime. Soil's a little bit sandy here, so it could be something a little more modern that just sank deeper. But it's a great signal. Great signal. Pardon if the camera's not in perfect view. It's can't see here with the sun out right now. About right down on top of it. See the soil darkening, so it should be, oh, I think it is going to be, oh, it's a coin, but it's not silver. I wonder if over here by these benches, if they pushed some soil around here and they were doing the sports fields. Let's get into the shade. It's a crusty dime. It's not a silver one. I'm not going to bother trying to clean it to see the date. So that gave us a little bit of a scare. I guarantee there's a piece of silver jewelry or a coin or multiples in here. It's just a matter of taking my time and getting over it. Having a pretty good time so far. This turned out to be a great spot. I'll be able to come back here after some rain. Looking forward to it, but we still got a lot of time today. By no means are we done. So I think my theory is correct. I noticed kind of around the edges where they cleared this field, there's like little bits of gravel kind of going in a line, like they used a dozer to spread it around the edges of the field. Maybe in the process, maybe they scraped some of the older soil off and just kind of lowly, slightly mounded it on the edges. Because coming down here, like I said, that was more sandy where I dug that deep clad dime, by the way, which seemed to be 1972, and I had a deep signal over here on the edge, and as soon as I stuck the shovel in, I'm like, yep, that's definitely some type of fill. It's just a fine gravel and sand, but there was a signal down under it, so I got down into the clay beneath this about 5-inch layer of fine gravel and sand, and there was a penny under it, and the penny, I think, is from, what did it say? I thought it was, or no wait, is that a wheat cent? Look at that, it is. I thought it was from the 60s. I thought I saw a 196 on there, maybe it's a 195. So, here's the old stuff under this little bit of gravel they put in here. Let me wipe my hand off here and show you this coin. The newer wheat pennies, I could tell this one had the high relief, so it cleaned off real easy. It's a 1956 Denver, literally underneath the fill dirt. So that's a really good sign that there's, you know, anywhere there is fill in this field, it seems like the old coins are still accessible. I mean, who knows? Maybe some of it's been taken out of the middle, because like I said, man, a coin spill from like the 80s to be almost on the surface, it's pretty awesome. It also goes to tell me this place may not have been detected before. I'm just taking my time because it's really hot. I've got a pouch full of coins, and I've only been here maybe an hour now. So excited to see what comes up next. Got 4 wheat pennies, an old nickel from the 50s, some jewelry. We're heading in the right direction. Well, I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. Well, let's just say I'm partially wrong, I guess, because they did still clear an area here to create a border. And I figured it out now. It has been so grown over, and I was so focused on the creek that I didn't notice it till I came up here, and now I can see it as clear as day. So I just dug another copper penny from the 80s, early 80s, right out of here in sand. And guess why? It's a baseball field. Look how grown in it is. That's the backstop. You can see where that's all cleared out there. It's just been growing in for who knows how long. You can kind of see the pitcher's mound. It's about right there, what used to be. And you can kind of see a faint outline where the grass changes a little bit. So that explains the sand in through here, obviously, and how where it's pushed on the edges, where they cleared this field. Who knows when. So the coins at an original depth were way out into the outfield, like the back. I don't know, you can see back in here, an old fence. I think this, like a scoreboard's back here. But just wild. And this has been abandoned as a baseball field for a long time, but obviously still cut just to be used as a play area behind the school. It's currently an elementary school that's still in use. Look at the old scoreboard. I don't know if you can see that back here. I apologize for the noise. There's a farmer in the field next to here. But look at that. There's nothing left on it. That's crazy. All right, well, I'm glad I figured out the sand, because I couldn't figure out why there would be sand down here. Why would they put it down here? And now it makes perfect sense. Baseball field, so it seems like that sand layer is at least older, because that wheat penny I found was kind of like at the bottom of the sand layer, so it probably sunk to, you know, about where the original soil was. So maybe that sand is probably older than I think. That sand could be from the 1960s or 70s, and all that gravel could be earlier. Who knows? Hard to tell. But yep, now I can see it as clear as day. So in baseball fields, usually signals are very, very, very deep. And that's probably why I've been struggling in this section. So what I'm going to do is now use this information that I have to work on the outskirts of it. Go into where the outfield is, where there's no manipulation with the soil. So that's going to be the plan. And I haven't even gotten closer to the school itself. There's not a lot of property. There's really nowhere to swing in the front except a few strips. But this bank could be really good. Probably been people sitting there for the last 100 years. And I'll work down around that edge and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I came over to the bank here to see if I could find the original soil over here and get away from the sand. You can see right here the very old sunken in run from third base to home plate, running right this way. And I came over here, and I think it's going to be original soil on this hillside, so who knows what all comes out of here, but it was overwhelming. The signals just exploded over here. They're everywhere. And we'll see what this is. You can see I had a signal down here in this rich soil, about probably 4.5 inches down. It's on the bottom of the hole. I'm just figured I'd do it live just to see if it's old or not. I mean, it is a copper cent. It's not a wheat penny though, but it's got the high relief. So I think that's going to be from the 1960s. So if this hillside is all original soil and never been metal detected, right between the skull and a baseball field, this would have been where kids' lunch boxes, backpacks, clothing, hanging out, rolling down this hill for decades. No telling what's down here. I'm getting excited now. So naturally there's going to be a lot of trash in here too, but just listen. Oh my goodness. It's like machine gun fire. It would probably take me weeks to clean this out. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to try to isolate deeper signals and ones that are very concise for now. That last penny I cleaned it up, it was actually 1964. So I think there's coins dating back to at least the mid 1800s and probably earlier, to the super early days of this skull, considering this soil's all original. I guess we'll find out. A lot of big targets too. Like, there's going to be a lot of trash in here, a lot of cans and who knows what, but oh man, I think I'm into an interesting spot here. It was easier to isolate the old stuff over there and really slow. This is where it's at. I think this is the strip where there's going to be a lot of coins and probably a lot of jewelry and a huge pile of trash. Well, let the games begin. I'm just focusing on the good signals, the really high conductive ones and the deeper ones. And right here, 2 out of this hole that were stuck together, and 1 right there I think was a spill. I just got 3/4. There's a California and a Maryland. The newest one is 2005, and these are obvious signals that any metal detectors should dig. It's kind of how big silver rings will ring in sometimes, and I mean, you just can't pass quarter signals even if they're modern. So, you know, if these were dropped in between 2005 and 2010, been down there 10 years, so if this place has been metal detected, it hasn't been thorough, and probably not for a very long time, if ever. So let the games begin. This is going to be fun. I'm convinced this is a virgin spot. There are signals everywhere, and I am so happy that it appears this bank is all original soil. Like right over here, I dug a 5-inch deep penny from 1966. You can see this one, this rich soil, 5 inches down. Popped it right off the bottom of the plug. This one's a 1960, or no wait, the other one was 67. This one I think 66, or the other way around. But you get the idea. Coins from the 60s coming out at 5 inches deep consistently. 3 of them so far are all at about the same depth. It's only a matter of time before silver starts to come out. The only shallow targets I'm digging are the very high conductive ones that sound like they could be big pieces of jewelry, like silver bracelets or something like that. This here, I mean, I was expecting a piece of a can. Check out that. OBX. And I don't think this is silver, because it's just kind of like pot metal underneath. It's like plated. I don't know if it says anything on the back, but man, place is loaded. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. Just gonna give everybody an update. Quite overwhelming, to be honest, which is a good thing. And I'm hunting this while the ground is not bone dry, but getting there, relatively dry. I guess they didn't get a lot of the scattered showers up here. We got hammered pretty good by where I live over the past week. So over the past 15 minutes, I went under the big tree over there because it's all washed out and eroded. I want to see if there was anything old on the surface. I got a zinc penny and a clad dime almost right on top. Then in some various trash, I got like an old aluminum bottle top like 10 inches down on that bank. I decided to wander back out in the sun for a while. In this field, hit 2 pennies from the 1970s. As I started working over this way, I got another coin spill, which I think is from the 80s. It was a penny from 1965, a penny from 1980, and a really crusty zinc one, which I think is early to mid 1980s. So I think I got another 1980s coin spill. Came under here, and you can see the same theme. I mentioned that fine gravel the whole way around the edges. You can kind of see the curvature here. It goes the whole way around this field. It's possible at some point they had a walking, like a track back here that went the whole way around. That's a possibility. I'm not certain if this is an old track or where they just, I mean, that's possible. I'm gonna quit theorizing, but I came over here by the soccer goal, and there's a coin in the bottom of the hole there, about 3 to 4 inches down. Just figured we'd pop it as I was talking about what I've been doing for the last 15 to 20 minutes here. And this one is going to be, let me see if I can see the year on it. It actually looks older than I thought. I thought this was just going to be a copper penny from the 70s. And I'm glad I turned the camera on for this one. That right there is going to be a 1957 wheat cent. 1957 Denver. So that's wheat penny number 5. I just don't have the patience to work through all the gigantic trash over there right now, and can't stay in the sun too long. So to give you an idea, over there on the hillside, one of the, like an old aluminum lid, gigantic one. There's going to be a lot of clearing trash out like this to find the good stuff, because there's going to be a ton of garbage over there that's to be expected in a site like this. It hasn't been detected well or at all. So since the old coins are the whole way over here too, let's just keep skirting this edge and see what happens. Thankfully I got a lot of shade and a breeze now. It's been about 20 minutes, haven't really found anything. On this far end of the field, I do think I found what appears to be, now there are a lot of animal holes too, so it's hard to tell here, but there are some that appear to look like old metal detecting plugs that have probably been pulled up by the mower that weren't patched very good. At least that's what I'm thinking, because I started to see some areas where there was some dead grass, and then you see kind of a roundish hole there, then a bunch of loose sod kind of above it, and a really nasty divot. So these aren't characteristic of animal holes. Normally the animal holes are just very round, small, and go down kind of like skinny like. But some of these that I'm seeing here, I started to see patches like this. This was the most obvious one to me. This looks cut like that was somebody that was digging a hole for metal detecting and did a very, very, very poor job. But that's the first one I noticed there. That does not look like an animal hole whatsoever. So, I mean, these holes could be quite old. I mean, obviously within the last year or so. But if that's the type of holes they were digging, they may not have been very experienced. So that goes to show me why I'm still finding a lot of stuff. But it does appear, just from what I'm seeing, I do believe somebody's been here, because there's pieces like this that have been kicked up. This looks like parts of people's plugs that have been ripped out and thrown by the mower, unfortunately. But it seems to be concentrated in this area. Most of the ball field has like that gravel and fill in it. That's why I'm finding the old stuff on the edges. So I found like one wheat penny there, two toward the back, one on the edge there, and then another one down further. It's all been along the sides where it's still original soil, as well as, well, I was getting the 60s coins on the bank there. So I haven't even tried around the skull itself, but it does look at least like at some point, I think somebody's been detecting in here. That's the one I showed and started with. Yeah, see, even that, you can, when you kind of feel around and look for the dead grass, you can kind of see where something was definitely cut at some point there and just not filled in very well. But all right, we will persevere. There's plenty more targets to dig. So I've just been digging a few modern coins for the last 20 minutes. This is another one of those where you can see it kind of have a little bit of that square shape to it, where I think, I mean, this is really packed in there. So these are probably year-ish old plugs that a detectorist dug and did very poorly. But I'll show you this real quick before I show you the signal I'm on. I'm working the really steep areas of the slope where other people usually wouldn't detect unless they're finding a lot of good stuff. But right in here where all this is exposed, coming down from the playground, you can see the old style pull tabs are literally all over the place on the surface. It's crazy. They're just sitting all over on top. Like I said, I only found a couple modern coins under here. I'm sure there's some older ones hiding down in there somewhere. But I'm working the steepest angle here. I'm kind of compensating for in the camera, but it's that straight right there. So this is a pretty good grade. And I locked into a signal here that sounded pretty good. And we'll finish it. It's right in my sidewall. We'll finish it live real quick. Of course, the sun just came out and I can't see. It's right back here. It sounded very coin-like. It has some depth on it. It's going to be right in here. And what is it? Looks like a penny, but it looks like an older one. This is all original soil right here. So let's hope this isn't a, oh yeah, that's super green. That one's got to be a wheat cent. I can't see the date on it. I'm going to go in the shade and clean it up. But I'm pretty certain that's a wheat cent, and that'll be number 6 if it is. Okay, so apart from that one that I found by the creek earlier that I think is Very old. This is the oldest legible one, the one I just pulled out. It's really hard to see on there, but I'm pretty sure it's a 1939 Philadelphia. And I know the skull has been here since at least 1935. So pretty neat. Let's keep swinging. Okay, I think I'm getting into a hot spot now as I get away toward the back of the field on this slope where the soil's a lot more clean, not as much shifting, not as much trash. Probably only a yard away from where I dug that 1939, might have been closer. I don't really even know where because I went and came back on the last hole and then I went back out. I might be right close to it, but next coin, 1940 wheat penny on the button, so maybe that was dropped same time as that other one, I don't know. That's wheat penny number 7, and I hit 2 in a row right there in rich soil, about 3.5, 4 inches down. So I'm gonna keep working that, see if we can pull a silver or some jewelry out of this section. So it's been about a half hour and I'm getting tired. Finishing that little area over there, I found a penny from 1962, trying to find more of the old stuff. Then I went out there, found another penny from 1962, found a 1983 nickel, really shallow over here. I only dug the nickel tone because it was very solid. And then I came back over here to start in behind the skull where the slope just starts. There's a lot of low tone trash in through here, but not much else. I got to about right here and dug a penny from 1967. And then here, I don't know if this is going to be a silver quarter, like a really nice big silver coin, or if this is just going to be junk. But all of a sudden, I ran over a solid 91, 92. And it's not right on the surface like it's just a gigantic can lid or something. So I figured we'd try it live, see what it is. It's a little bit thunky, so it may be nothing, but we'll try it here. Okay. Oh. Nice depth on it. Yep, straight down pretty much. I'm getting close to where they have some power lines. Some coming in, so I was trying to avoid that area, but I'm down a little bit further. Haven't gotten any of the brass electrical junk yet, which is good. It's right down here. What is that? Huh. No wonder that rang up good. Some kind of gigantic piece of brass, some kind of connector or something. It's probably threaded on the inside. Well, that sounded good. And it was a bit thunky, probably not a coin, but sometimes that's how silver half dollars sound, so hey, gotta dig them. I'm in the shade now. There's a little additional building the skull built at some point. It's actually fairly old. Probably built that in the 60s or 70s. But I'm right up against the old skull here. Still all the original windows and everything. And I just got one penny from the 70s. Wasn't very deep over here by the sidewalk. The gnats are crazy, but they did all sorts of new lines in there. It's all sunken in, so most of this has been excavated back here. But I came up close to the side of it, seeing if I could find any original soil in here. Here, this isn't very old, but this is going to be the best value spill that I've had in quite a long time. Popped 3 quarters out of this hole, and I can tell one of them is a state quarter, so not super old. Checked my sidewall, popped out another quarter that was stuck to a dime. And then I don't know if there's more in here. Let's check it with the detector. I have $1.10. I think that was it. $1.10 out of that hole, but those weren't old, so I'm gonna stay here in the shade though. Go get a drink in a second. I've been out here several hours now. I don't know how long. Close to 3 anyway. So I'm gonna go get a drink, cool off for a second, and I think I'm gonna go around that back end of the skull. It's just maybe 2 yards, not even 2 yards between there and the fence, the end of that property. This property mainly goes back that way. Big rectangle from the road the whole way, I mean even a long ways past the creek, but of course it gets really steep and goes up that way, so probably not much activity up there, but a long rectangular plot of land, and pretty much ends right at the bushes on that side, and ends about where my vehicle is on that side, and it all just goes back that way. So I'm gonna work around this side of the building after I take a break, see if we can pull anything else out, but definitely no shortage of coins here, even though I'm not getting any silver. I know it's down here. So I got a drink and came back and was just getting ready to start walking over there. This is where I dug that spill out. I just set them coins there now. I went about a foot over and it wasn't done yet, apparently. Got another $1.25 out of this hole. I figured we'd just do this live while I check it again, because there's more in there. So up to $1.45. I have not dug this much money out of one hole in a very long time. It's another dime, $1.55. Let's check this general area with the detector again. That may be it now. I think it's it. $1.55. Sweet. I just filmed a really long clip that I'm gonna have to delete because we got an insane gust of wind all of a sudden out of nowhere after it being really calm. And then I chased a signal that I thought might be a little bit of a deep high tone. I went down literally almost a foot and then got into some crazy hard pack. So I think there's multiple different layers in this ball field that have been compacted. And it's probably big iron about 1.5 feet down, and I couldn't get to it with the hand shovel, tearing up my hands. But I've been out here for, I don't know, like 4 hours now. I'm sunburnt and I'm beat. I'm just sticking to the shade now as the sun's kind of going down on that side. I'm just hugging this line here. I went into the front, well, I went around the side. It's all a gravel path to get back here now with vehicles, probably for work vehicles and stuff. But in the front, I dug one zinc penny like 6 inches down in the gravel. I wanted to see if it was old stuff under there, but it was just a zinc penny. And then in the front, there's just a few strips of grass, and I got a penny from 1962 and 1969, and then a zinc one. I've been working in through here. I got like one modern coin, came here, and I figured we'd do one semi-live because this is a solid coin signal. And it's like 3 inches down here. We should be right at it. Should probably have it in this plop. Or not quite. Now we should have it. You can see the darker soil there. Yep. Turn this off. It's going to be right in here. It's going to be a coin ball. Hopefully this is an older one. I'm in the section that I showed you guys all earlier, the old, I don't know if that was the scoreboard or just some kind of other sign back there. I didn't see anything back in the far end. Normally like the scoreboard is like behind the fence or something like that, but maybe they had it here for this field. That one's just a memorial, but it's high relief, so it's going to be 1959 to 1968. So it's a coin, and it's semi-old. I mean, man, I've dug a ton of coins from the 1960s out of here. But I'll give it probably another 20 minutes and I'll pack it in. So this is why that signal sounded good. I think it's an old spill. That cleaned off that penny. It was 1964. I still had a signal when I scanned over the hole again, so I opened it back up and I'm going in on the back edge now. It still sounds like it's in the penny range, so I don't think it's going to be a silver dime, but I mean, who knows. Oh, there's a couple stuck together. I'll check the hole again with the detector. Let's see how old these are. Man, these have been stuck together for a very long time. That's high relief too. 1960 something, I can't see the date. Man, just working so hard to try and get a silver today. With all these coins, you would have thought I would hit one so far with all these coins from the 50s and the 60s. That one's also 1964. So if these were dropped in 64, if they were dimes, they would all have been silver. But these could have been dropped a little bit later, naturally. Is this another 64? It's 1960 something. It's another 64. So what a crazy spill. 3 pennies from 1964. I'm gonna scan over this hole again. Oh, and unfortunately, that's it. Man, what a teaser. So I don't know if these were all dropped in 64 and were all uncirculated at the time that they were dropped or what, but it's pretty bizarre. We'll take it though, still a fun find. I'm into some sort of crazy hot spot right here. Right back here is where I got the 3 pennies from 1964 out of the same hole, just a yard up. I just dug a penny from 1964 again. And just a second ago, I dug one from 1970 right in the same hole there. So I got a signal there. That sounds like a bigger target, maybe slightly larger than the coin. It could be multiple pennies. Where I pulled these out, I still have a penny signal above it. So if I pull, and it's like smearing in here, there's at least one more coin in there. So I'm just gonna open up a bunch of this area. I think we got like at least 3 more coins or more down there. And I don't know if anything else mixed in. But like I said, 3 from 1964, 1 from 1964 and 1970 there. Little hot spot. I'm gonna dig all this out and see what we're dealing with. Okay, I'm in shock right now. A little bit of an update here. Something unexpected. So I definitely found some original soil over in this section, which makes sense. You know, I found a wheat penny in that piece of jewelry over here earlier, and the older wheats back by the edge of the creek here. So I dug out one of the coins next to the other signal that I knew was gonna be another penny, and it was 1969. So 69, 70, and 64, all in the same hole there. You know, all dropped early 1970s. I had a faint target off to the front of it that kind of sounded like a silver coin. Sorry for the lighting angle. And but it was really deep, and once I was getting down to it, I'm like, man, this is trash. But I ran over it with the detector after it got down 7 inches, and I'm like, man, this is such a good non-ferrous signal. So I kept going and going and going, thinking, you know, maybe it's a deep, big silver coin that just sunk a lot deeper, and it was older and just happened to be right in the spot. Well, it's a relic that predates all of this ball field activity by quite a bit, and this was down almost a foot in this soil, and I can't believe I found another one. I knocked this off my bucket list earlier this year. Can't believe it. Check this out. And this one is in so much better shape. It's a heel plate for a shoe or like a boot, and it's got the heart cut out in it. Unbelievable. I did find that iron horse tack ring back here earlier. I mean, by the creek in the front, there's some really old houses up here, like early 1900s. Some of it could be late 1800s as well. And a lot of old buildings, an old church, and probably a lot of activity by the creek here. But that is a very historic find. Sometimes kids wore these, sometimes women, usually kids or women. And there's some stories to go along with these too. Sometimes they were used as sort of, women would wear them and to leave tracks in the soil so men knew where to go to visiting town, if you know what I'm saying. That's all I want to say on the video. So it would leave little heart footprints in the soil on the streets. So where I'm at, probably not the case. Back here in this field, probably just for a kid or a women's shoe. But that was super cool. That's how deep it was. A whole way down there on the bottom. Just happened to be underneath that more modern coin spill here. And I still have that coin spill, those modern coins from the early 70s and 60s. They're still spread out here. I gotta finish digging them out, but I had to take a break to show this one. That is in amazing condition. It's not hardly even worn down. The other one I have is worn so thin on the back you can tell it was worn for decades. This one is in fantastic condition. Well, you know how I told you that signal that was off to the side sounded a little bit thunky, like it could be multiple coins, you know, like multiple pennies, which is what I thought. That's actually what it is. So I popped 2 of them out here. You can tell some of them were stuck together. This one's low relief, so it's probably 1969 or 1970, based on the other dates. This one's high relief, so it's 1959 to 1968. You can see, I thought that was the imprint. This is where it was stuck to. That one was stuck to this one. And that one is another high relief one, pre-1969. Set it on top of the plug there. And I think that was it. Well, nope. Looks like there's more in the sidewall here. Wait, what's that there? Nope, nothing. Potentially more on the sidewall right here. Oh yeah, there it is. Is that it? Another penny. Of course, these, if they were dropped in all the early 70s, that one looks like low relief. That's probably another. No, that's high relief. That's 1967. That may be it there. Might be one more down here. I can't tell. Pinpointer's a little bit choppy. Well, I'll check it again with the detector, but 4 more of them, all from like 1970 and prior. And there's got to be a silver down in here somewhere. It's absolutely crazy. This is by far the best patch back here. The signals just keep coming. All those spills were, I don't know, right in through here. So, yeah, like right there somewhere. I walked right to the end here and went in that fine gravel that goes the whole way around this field. It's all gravel down in here and right up against all of the weeds. Really need to get back in here, maybe in the fall. Right up in that fine gravel, I got a 1965 penny. Walked out 2 yards back into the middle because I'm just gridding up and down, up and down. And there was wheat penny number 8 of the day. And I can't really see it on there. I think that one's 1944. But crystal clear signal, only about 3.5 inches down in that original soil. So this is a great patch right here. I can't believe with the ball field right there, none of this soil ever got moved right in this area. So that's where I'm looking. Unbelievable, only a couple feet away. I just walked out a yard here, turned around, started walking back the other direction. And wheat penny number 9 right there, same thing, about 3.5 inches down in this rich original soil. We're about to hit 10, hopefully with a silver in between. So I walked from where I found that wheat penny, went to the bushes, turned around. Right there at the edge, dug an old Pepsi cap down in that fine gravel. I wanted to check it to see if it was a wheat penny signal. Took me a while to chase that down in that fine gravel. Walked back out to here, and probably about a yard away from where that other wheat came from. There's another one. Wheat penny number 10. Looks like another 40s or 50s ones. All the ones in this section are red, like they're from the 1940s or 50s. Man, they're just really jumping out in this section, so I'm going to keep gridding it. Okay, the signals are thinning out. In the last 10 minutes, I just got a copper bullet, and back here I had a thunky signal. I knew it was almost right on top, but it didn't vary in signal like it was a piece of a can. So I'm like, oh man, that could be a piece of jewelry. Since it's thinning out, I may as well just dig it. And I just got a set of keys. It looks pretty. Looks like they're pretty old. One's busted off. The loop's broken. Yeah, very old set of keys. I don't know if there's any more down there. Let's check it with this. No. Detector says no more. I'm sure that little piece of the other one's there, but I'm not going to bother trying to fish that out. All right, this is my first set of keys of the day. We'll take it. I went the whole way, almost within a few yards of the back edge there. Now I changed patterns, and I'm going this way and that way. And had a solid 79 here. And it is another wheat scent. This one's number 11. Crazy. This one might be slightly older because it rang up 78, 79. That could be from the 30s. It doesn't look too super old though, like the teens ones. But hey, I think that's wheat penny number 11. Down 4 inches, close to some fine roots, some smaller roots. As you get closer to these trees over here, you get roots like that. They're not too bad to get around though, so I'm cool with digging them. So I wandered out into the middle of the field now because the sun's going down over the mountain, and didn't get anything for the last like 10 minutes. Right over here just got a shallow penny from like the 70s. And right there I had a really rich nickel signal, and I decided to dig it. It was only 2 inches down. 1959 nickel. right there. 1959. All right. Whew. It's about 7 o'clock. I think I've been here since like, I don't know, 2:30 or something. I am beat. By George, I think I've finally done it. Oh my goodness. After being out here for like five-ish hours, fighting through the sun and everything, scouting this place, digging probably, this is the most I've detected in a while, and dug in a while. I've dug, I don't know, 200 holes. Probably something like 200 holes. Got a coin signal out in the middle of this field. Kind of like I'm literally almost right where I started. I kind of went in around straight across the field this way and went right into the back here right away. And when I saw it, I was almost in disbelief. I think I got the edge of a silver dime down here. Pull my glove off. If I can get it off. Come on. All right. Let me show you down in here. That looks like the edge of a silver dime to me. Oh yeah. Let's pop it. That looks old. It's a mercury dime. Oh, you can see the date poking through there, 1942. Unbelievable. I knew there were some in here. I'm almost out of water. This was kind of an unexpected trip today. At least I had my one big water bottle the whole way full. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm tired. My hands are tore up. But I'm happy. There it is. I think I have a dozen Wheaties, a silver dime, some awesome old relics, piece of jewelry. It has been a good hunt. And I'm going to slug it out for another 5 minutes or so. Right on. When all this brushes down this winter, I think I'm going to go detecting in the creek there. See if I can find any washed out areas that's closer to bedrock. And I bet there's some old coins backing through all them bushes too. They're out here. I'm still finding stuff. I'm back by the creek line again. Out further in the middle. I can't even talk anymore, I'm so tired. Got a 1973 dime next to a piece of aluminum. Rang up funny, I thought it might be onto another silver dime, but it's 1973. I got a zinc penny. I got a bullet that hit something solid over here. That found some ammunition over here. Had a 79, thought it might be more ammunition here. I went down under this hard pack and all this like slate down here. There's actually a penny underneath it, so I bet that one's going to be a Wheatie. And it is. I think that gives me a baker's dozen now. Pretty much right about where I started. Good place to end the day. But I'm going to keep slugging it out. I am in beast mode right now. Okay, I don't know what's happening right here. I hope this is not fooling me. So, I was getting ready to go back this little slightly modernish trail back here where you can tell there's been some activity. Probably people going back there. I was going to go back there and relieve myself because I haven't since I've been here. And got a golf ball here, but we'll throw it in the pocket. Why not? I had a choppy 79 signal right here, and I was thinking, yeah, this is probably a piece of ammunition. You know, maybe an old wheat penny down in this hard pack. I wasn't sure. I started jamming down in there. I hope this isn't messing with me, which I think it is now. Yeah, I thought it was a silver coin for a second, but now when I rub it more, it looks shiny, but it looks off. I don't know what that is, but we'll pop it off. Pop it out, I should say. That had me for a second. What is that tiny little thing? Well, that had me there going there for a second. Thought I had a worn silver dime. Oh well. Okay, I know it's going to be dark back here, but pretty exciting. I bushwhacked to get back here. Look at this creek. It's all bedrock. golf balls down in here. A lot of this hillside, not hillside, really just this little slope leading down to the creek has eroded out over the years. And it's about only 4 yards up that way where there's still some coins floating around. Another golf ball. I bet, now there's way too many mosquitoes back here right now and it's getting dark. But I bet if I swang the detector back here, I would find some stuff. I'm sure it's in here. In the areas, you know, there's some buildup, you know, there's some areas where stuff's going to be too buried, but you never know. Could be old coins washing out of this bank. You can see all the exposed roots. This has been eroding for quite a while. Talk about a massive tree. But yeah, this is exciting. The more I explore this place, the more I'm excited to come back, because there's no way I can find everything at this location in one day. Absolutely no way. Just eyeballing here, see if I can see anything. You know, with this being a school way back in the day, I mean, there could be eyeballing, there could be marbles and stuff back here. The cool thing is there's not a lot of trash. I mean, there's not like tons of modern cans and stuff back here that would make it miserable. That might, I'm not sure if that's a stick, that might be a little piece of iron there, but you can see all the bedrock here. And it just keeps running down this way. The edge of the field ends about 5 yards, 6 yards that way. But it's really dark back here right now, so I can't really see. But I would certainly bring the detector back here and see what I could find. Now, I do know the property here actually extends past, and it's just all woods back here. Now, it goes insanely steep right up there, but it's a little flat right before it starts to ascend right there. So there could be some stuff on this back end too. I'll definitely have to try it someday. You know, it's not going to be as easy as hunting that field in the front where I'm getting all the coins. But I have a feeling, you know, I doubt anybody's, you know, I'm pretty sure now that people have looked here before based on the plugs that I found. But it hasn't been hunted very hard. And back here, I doubt anybody's ever been back here, so we'll save it for another day. Pretty sweet. I had a solid signal that kind of sounded like a zinc penny on steroids, not too far from the surface. I'll have to check this out later. This almost looks like a mangled Civil War period bullet. Smashed up on the base though. Looks like it's got a couple rings there. I don't know, it's kind of weird on that side. That could just be nothing, but man, that almost looks like a smashed Civil War period bullet. A lot of old ammunition back on this end, but that's about the oldest piece I found so far, I'm pretty sure. Wild. Okay, it's literally been another 20 minutes. It's almost 8 o'clock. I'm definitely leaving now. I'm going to work my way back toward my car, because if I have to do this drive in the dark, it's not going to be fun. Because there's no cell service out here, and tons of winding roads for about a half hour. I dug maybe 6 more coins out here, mostly from the 70s and 80s. Right here, had a solid one, 4 to 5 inches down on a hard pack. Starting to work back toward my car where I hit a bunch of the Wheaties earlier here. And those coins from the 70s in the heel plate, working my way back toward that. And I think that's Wheatie number 14. It's a 1946. Crazy. Alrighty everyone, so it's time to wrap up this hunt. It took me a very long time to film, edit, clean up the finds, and get this video ready. But I'm excited to share it with everyone. So let's go ahead and get in and show you what I found at this amazing location. Naturally, I didn't show a lot of it on camera, otherwise the video would have been 3 hours long every time I dug a hole. But here is everything that I found. First of all, we'll start out with the trash. Let's move it the whole way out into the sun there. You know, cans, and there's tons of pull tabs on the bottom. Old Pepsi tops and other sodas. Just all kinds of garbage. Threw the golf ball in there too. And I set this aside because I thought it was funny. At least it had a date on it. Twist and win. Game ends 12/31/1992. So somebody comment and let me know which beverage that was from. So we'll go ahead and throw that in the junk pile there. Now on to the better finds. Up to the more modern coins. That is my row of quarters right there. That is all the non-silver dimes. 2 nickels, Now, I have 3 different piles of pennies here. These are all copper pennies from the 70s and the early 80s. These are all of my pennies from the 1960s. There were just so many of them, which it was surprising that more silver didn't come out given the amount of pennies from the 60s. But once again, I was looking up in a rural area, very rural area, so there would not have been a lot of wealth back in the day. So if you're finding this many pennies, it's actually pretty good. But there were 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 pennies from the 1960s. So if those are popping out, I'll dig them all day, because you never know what's going to come out. And then I just got a few of the zinc pennies as well. Not a lot of super modern coins there. Most of the stuff was dropped 1980s and prior, at least from the looks of the things that I found. I did separately set that one very large coin spill aside that I believed was from the 1980s, just to give you an idea. 1984 dime, 1981 dime. The nickels, the old one in that spill was 1954, and it was preserved because another coin was stuck to it right here. So I thought that was very fascinating. And also, it's the slightly more uncommon 1954 Philadelphia. There's no mint mark on it. So pretty good find for in that spill. And it was 1978, 1985, 2 of the copper cents, and then the zincs. The only one still with a fully legible date was in 1984. And that corner of the coin literally chipped off as I was cleaning it. I almost peeled the date off. Shows you how crappy these are made these days. That one looks like a 1983, hard to tell. Those look like they might be 1983, both of them. That one's annihilated, so dropped sometime around the early to mid 1980s, that coin spill. Now over to the older coins. I did end up with 13 wheat pennies, which is pretty good. I think I said 14 in the video. Toward the end I lost track and skipped one. That really corroded one I found back by the creek. I never did get the date off it. Big corrosion blob right where the last 2 digits would have been. Did get a 1934 in relatively good condition. So that's from the early days of that skull. And then a 1939. So those are the 3 oldest wheat pennies there. This is certainly older than the 40s, no doubt about that. So those are the 3 oldest coins I was able to find. The row from the 1940s, there's a 1940, 1941. I believe that one's 1945, it's a little hard to tell. And a 1946. For the 50s, 1951, 1952D, another 52D, 1956D, another 1956D, and a 1957D. I did get the one 1959 nickel. It's got a Denver mint mark on it, pretty good condition. And 1 silver coin came out of there on this hunt. It's a little bit stained, but we'll take the silver however we can find it. It's a 1942 mercury dime, and it has a Denver mint mark on it. Normally I find the Philadelphia mint mercury dimes around me, but that one's a Denver, so we'll take that one as well. Then for the more relic bits, I got that more modern, I wouldn't call it a pendant, but more modern piece right there. It looks a little better when it's wetted down because it's damaged a little bit from being under the ground over the years, but a very old pendant that's enameled, really super cool. And this is from Taiwan. So really nice to find an old piece of jewelry there. There could be some gold and silver jewelry there. I'm just going to have to go and dig a lot more holes another time. I got a few of the keys, and now into the relics that predate the skull and the ball field significantly. I just set that iron ring there because, you know, that's most certainly from the 1800s. The bullet cleaned up really well. I've been told it may be a Spencer carbine bullet, which would make sense. So this was probably not used in the Civil War, but, you know, up in the mountains a lot of people used, you know, the carbines and that even post-war. So, but that is a very old piece of ammunition, a lead bullet. And also this find, which I am very pleased with. Now, I will point out that the newest representation of these I have been able to find, based on my research from the one I found earlier this year, was on a women's shoe from the 1870s. So that is about as new as these get. They could also be, 1860s, closer to Civil War period, around the time of this bullet, and probably this here. So 3 relics that are from the mid 1800s, no newer than, I would say, the 1870s on these, certainly. Now, to show you all the comparison, the one I found earlier this year, it's funny how bucket listers work. I spend years trying to find one, then they always come in twos for me. It was the same with my Morgan dollars and some other finds as well. This one I dug up in a swampy area off of a very old road, and you can see the holes are expanded wider from being mounted. It could just have varied in size too, and worn thin and chipped on the end like it was worn for a very, very long time. This, on the other hand, I've actually never seen one dug in this good of condition. It's literally almost pristine, like it was worn very little. I didn't even know these had grooves on them originally, which makes sense. But it's very thick and just in fantastic condition. So most likely off of an old women's shoe boot. They were leather. I think I showed a picture in the last video of a representation of one of these that I found. I can link to that video if I remember, but the condition of this is absolutely phenomenal. And I think the only little marks there are where I might have dinged it with the shovel a little bit, because it was about a foot deep. That very historic find right there, and the condition is just absolutely phenomenal. And you can see compared to the other one. So that was it. That was my epically long, roughly 6-hour hunt. I did count them. I dug a total of 103 coins. And the wind's picking up now, so that was pretty good timing. Right here by my fence, not too long ago, a box turtle was digging in through the areas here where the soil's exposed, and dug in and laid her eggs. So looks like I'm going to have some baby turtles here soon. Anyhow, thanks everyone for watching. I've had a really good time making this video. It was a really long and fun hunt, and I do plan on going back to that location in the future after some rain. And what I'll do is I'll just dig all of the a lot of the garbage out of there and just keep digging holes and see what comes up. So who knows what's going to come out of there. Really fun spot and a really relaxing spot as well. So with that being said, I'll let you all go. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.